Winning to me now is time. I've grown to realize that the only luxury is time.
What does winning actually mean to you now, and how has that definition changed over time?
Like everything else is just kind of made up. And now I desire being where I want to be when I want to be there. And that's what winning feels like. If you can say, you know what, I'm going to go spend a week in this part of the world because I just feel like that right now. And you can actually do that. That to me is.
My people, this is Mike H. When we made a nice, beautiful transition into Visionaries Beyond The Shift. And again, you've seen the first episode, but actually this is the first episode with a guest who's alumni from the prior podcast. And the brother been on the podcast at least 3 times. I said, what better person to have on the podcast? And he agreed without no problem. Our guy, Mr. Tylann. And before we I just wanted to give that before I really introduce him, but I want to tap on his brother accomplishments. His brother right here, when I first initially met him, he said 32 properties, 32 years old. That was a theme of our caption of the show. Now this brother has a large amount of properties. I'm going to have him say that. And the beauty of having them large amount of properties, he's able to have free time, enjoy himself, travel the world. Now, again, the podcast is not focused on real estate. Again, this is about visionaries because that's who this brother is. He's a visionary. But I had to bring him on. So let's give a warm welcome to our guy, Tylann Durrett. How you doing, brother?
Thank you. I'm great, man. Life's great, man.
Oh man,
life's good. I can't complain.
It's been literally, I would say, probably about 3 to 4 years since you've been on. Since we had our, the last time we kind of did the whole interview thing.
It feels like yesterday, man. It feels like I just talked to you at least like last year or the year before.
That's right.
Yeah, but time's just been going.
And just for the audience, just to make you aware, let me tell you something. Tylann, like I say, he's been doing some wonderful things in the field of real estate, meaning with investment properties. I had to reach out to brother a couple of times. He gave me some great contacts, so I want to salute you and thank you on that. Now,
absolutely.
We got to dive into the brother. We have to dive into Tylann in terms of, so Tylann, give me all of the accolades, what exactly you do, and we're going to dive into my deep questions here, because I got a lot of them.
Well, I won't say too much. I mean, I'm a landlord and real estate investor. I specialize in subsidized housing, Southside Chicago, dealing with low income programs like Section 8, Chicago Housing Center and Health, Night Ministries, Catholic Charities, et cetera, several. My portfolio consists of, I would say, about 70% of those programs in the rest of the market. And so I for the most part, I always say I buy houses. I give them a BBL,
I like that. Give them the BBL. Okay. All right.
Give them BBL and then we move on to the next one. So we fix them up, rent them out and move on to the next one. I pull our cash out and keep going.
So Tylann, okay, so let's tap into that a little bit. Okay, you give them BBL, like you said, you gave the definition, fix them up. So are you a buy and hold guy, flip? What is your strategy?
So I'm a buy and hold guy. I do a little bit of flipping, and I think doing both is very important. But I'm mostly a buy and hold guy. I'm playing the long game, the equity game, and of course, we said in previous podcast, but I'll touch back on it. I use the BRRRR method to do everything. BRRRR is BRRR: buy, renovate, rent, and refinance. We find undervalued properties, we add value, place renters in, and then refinance the down payment back out so we can keep scaling along. So that's what I've been doing I've been doing BRRRR maybe since 18, a little bit before, but I would say like 18 is when I really hit the ground running with BRRRR.
It's really here. So, so let's talk about that from the initial stages of of doing the Bird method?
Yeah.
Like anything else, everything is a little challenging and hard. Where was it easy getting in at first, or was it that very first one? What was it like?
So so originally, everybody's play with real estate is typically put money down and then wait to get your money back.
Mm.
And when I discovered this method, it wasn't called the Bird method. It was actually just something I saw my mentor doing. But then the Bird method term became very popular. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it did take away the challenge of always having to come up with a down payment. If you buy in a home in the average national price, I don't know what that is, but I would say I buy homes sub 200,000. So let's just say 200,000. If you're putting 20% down, that's $40,000. But if you can find a home with that needs a value add, and then fix it up and refi your money out, it's a better way to go about it. So I wouldn't say it was easy, but it did make things easier instead of like parking a bunch of money into an investment and waiting on this cash on cash return over X amount of years. When you know how real estate is, especially with rentals, a lot of that money you taking in, you go shoot it right back out during expenses anyway, So you want to at least get your capital back.
That's right. Okay, so we got to dive in from people who may not know, and again, as knowledgeable as us. Sub 200 cash on cash return. What does that mean?
So when I say those are two different things. When I say sub 200, I mean like sub $200,000 price point. So I was watching a podcast with I forgot these two brothers' name. Very, very popular dude, very, very popular podcast. I can't think of the name of it right now. The Hispanic dude, like perfect hair. He like hates rentals right now.
Okay, I'm unsure. There's so many out there. Yeah, I
forget his name. I gotta think. I'll look it up in a minute to see. But they're saying their whole thing is that rentals don't work anymore. They say if you look at the national average for rent, and if you look at the national cost for a single family home, it just doesn't work. And I would agree mostly. But what I found from what I used to do and what I do today is that if you can be at under $200,000 on a single family home in Chicago, my experience is that they still are profitable. Now that national average versus the national average of rent, that may hold true to where you're not going to even be able to break even on certain homes, because I forget what those averages are. But here in Chicago, if you could be sub, and by sub I mean below, you could still make money, especially in the mobility zone areas.
Mobility zone.
So my
areas. Now, what is that?
So in the mobility zones, the programs actually pay you a surplus for the rent. So an example, and this is just for the sake of numbers, I'm just going to shoot numbers out. Let's say the average rent is $2,200. They may pay you out $2,700. Just because it's in that mobility zone, and that's something I believe the Trump administration put in place the first term.
I'm sorry. Is it similar to what they call opportunity zone? Is that
opportunity zone? It's
similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's a similar concept.
Okay. When you said 2018, you kind of got in the market. COVID hit. How did you survive, and what tactics did you use to continue to move on? Because a lot of people got out of the business because they was forced to. Either it was over leveraged, or like, what was your playbook?
Well, for me, being in a big blue city, it's a tenant friendly city. And so I always, I never felt comfortable with so much of the portfolio being just market. I always like to split things up and have like a diverse portfolio of market and program tenants.
Okay.
So during COVID, unlike a lot of my friends, I was okay, right? I only lost money on like 3 or 4 of my tenants, where a lot of my buddies who like, I don't want no Section 8, I don't want no programs, I want cash tenants and stuff like that. Yeah, right. Exactly. When COVID hit and that eviction moratorium came into play and you couldn't evict people, it was like it was just like a trust thing. It was almost like, are you gonna pay your rent? And a lot of people was like, no, I'm not going to, because you can't do anything to me.
Yeah.
And it was like for like almost, I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was about 2-year period where they weren't really doing evictions, because even when they lifted the eviction pause, they were backed up. because then you had so many people flooding with eviction, so the eviction courts were backed up. And even right now, today, I'm going through an eviction now. It's like a 6-month period
Okay.
where you gotta, So for me, your question was, how did I survive COVID? COVID wasn't that bad for me, because I had a heavy amount of government funded tenants. And so the tenants that were least desirable to a lot of my counterparts, those were the tenants that actually kind of kept me afloat the whole time.
Interesting. That's
Because of
no. I'm sorry. Go
because I
ahead.
got
Go ahead.
no because I got my checks every first,
Regularly, no problem, no hiccups.
no problems.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So
And during that time, like you were saying, is that you had to basically ask for your rent. Hey, listen, you think you can? And there was situations even on my side where, and this goes back to, and I don't want to dive too much deep into it, but when you're kind of, I just think when you're over leveraged and
yep,
now, or you haven't paid that debt down, or in other words, your payments as isn't, with your interest rates equals your payments, and if it isn't as low enough, then
yep,
now when it comes time to pay the rent, if you don't have enough in there, so you'll be in the deficit. So
exactly.
yeah, so your programs helped you tremendously.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
Mm.
the way I do my numbers personally, and I guess this is an investment advice, right? I want to be clear. You don't want
Yeah,
to.
exactly. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. I
exactly. So you want that
don't.
worked for you, right? So you're
You
saying I
know,
don't want to.
yeah, you
Correct,
always got
correct,
to put
correct.
that out there when you're on a podcast or whatever.
Exactly.
But for me, when I'm looking at my portfolio, I'm always thinking, okay, how can I scale this to where the government funded programs, at least pay the bills, so that if I'm in a situation where every market rate tenant says, you know what, Ty, we're not paying you rent, and I got to go through that, at least these mortgages, taxes, water bills, so on and so forth are paid via these government
Gotcha.
contracts.
The
And
minimum.
and while I exactly at minimum, and sometimes we exceed or whatever but that's what I do personally. So I anchor myself with government funded programs, and
Smart.
then I try to pick the best market tenants I can when I do take on market tenants. But I do a mix of both. And these guys, I know they were so heavily anchored with market tenants because of their perception of Section 8 or just government funded programs, that when it hit, a lot of them went down. A lot of them went down and haven't recovered.
So okay, where one would you learn that from? What made you go against?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, someone on the other side might say, I had a bad experience with X 4 or 5
Yeah.
times. In other words, they came into the place, we did the Section 8. They don't have no
Yep.
skin in the game, so they destroyed it. So now I
Yep.
need to focus on mark people that got money, charge 2.5 times. They need to make 2.5 times of the income and use that
Mm-hmm.
as my point to say I'm dealing only with cash.
Yep.
What do you say to a person who's just kind of stuck in that mindset? Because again, it worked for you.
Yeah. So I completely understand it, and I'll just tell anybody from my experiences, personally. I've had Section 8 tenants that have torn my places apart. I've had cash tenants that have torn my places apart.
Got it.
Right. I've had Section 8 tenants who haven't paid their portions, and I've had cash tenants who just haven't paid at all. I don't think that them being of a program or a market is going to ensure the win. You always screen the tenant to the best of your ability, and you hope for the best in each situation. But being in a big blue state, or in a big blue state and big blue city like Chicago, it's so tenant friendly that I would suggest that you at least anchor yourself in government funded programs, because it is going to take you about 6 months to get somebody out of a house, and they're not going to leave it in great condition. So you're going to be without pay for that period of time. You're going to have to turn the unit, and you're still going to be paying that mortgage, taxes, water bill, light bill, or not light bill, but whatever, until they get out. So I would definitely say to them to reconsider their position if they're in a big blue city like this. Now, if they're somewhere red, I know that their processes move a lot faster because they're more owner friendly.
Correct.
And so if I was in a more owner friendly state or city, I would be more open to, maybe a half and half portfolio.
Gotcha.
Or maybe even predominantly market, because I know that if they don't make good on that contract, I can make a push for that eviction. But here in Chicago, I know they're gonna play me every time I've done an
So
eviction,
you
man.
already know, yeah.
Like it's not easy. I mean, and then they try to negotiate. It is such a long process. I got a lady right now. I'll give you an example, and this is in one of those mobility zones. So she stopped paying her portion. I tried to work with her. I always tried to do a payment plan, whatever the case may be. So we had to start the eviction. I started this eviction. What is this? May 1st. I want to say early March, and she's not gonna probably be out of there at this pace till maybe July. So so this whole, you know what I mean, time, I'm just gonna
4 months.
I just gotta eat the cost, you know. So that's a faster one. That's a faster eviction here in Chicago, and that's what we're on pace to do. It may take longer.
Okay, so a couple of things I want to unpack, and like you just said, some states is, I know, like in New York, it could be 2 or 3 years. Oh man, I actually had a family member go through that. At least I think God stayed there for 2 years, and it's like, then it makes you question: should I be a landlord?
Yeah,
taking this hit
for sure. That's a hell of a hit.
Do you property manage your own property? You got a property management company?
So I have assistants, but I do property management. I am working within the business like a fool. I'm getting to a point where I'm in a transitional phase, where I finally accepted the fact that I need to let go a little bit. For years, it's been my baby, and there's a saying that the hustler in you has to die so that the businessman in you can live. And so there's a book called Who Not How that I read, which is about delegation. And so this year I've been really starting last year, I started implementing a lot more systems, and hiring on people and stuff like that. I'm actually about to interview a young lady after this to kind of slowly start firing myself completely from the business if we go all in on deals. But I've had an assistant that logs rents. I've had a leasing agent that does the leasing. I've had contractors. So I don't get my hands dirty in things. Right. It's just but mostly me going to the Section 8 office, taking calls, sending out work orders. But I do need to relieve myself of that too, if I really want to go where I want to. But it's just, it's been hard. It's been hard to let go.
and just literally have that peace of mind. We on the same page as well. You said a word where I'm a big fan of, and actually I had a discussion with someone else, is delegate. Oh man, I am a big fan of delegate. I make $1. I don't mind sharing 20 cents of that, 30 cents of that with someone else, because then I could probably make an extra $2 because it frees my time up.
Exactly.
Big fan of that. But like you just said a minute ago, when you've groomed it, nurtured it like a child, and now it's like nobody's gonna really take care of it like I will because it is mine. So
for sure.
So these I guess whenever you get to that point, then you say you had leasing agents, do you hold them with the same high status as if it was like act like this is yours? Like, in other words,
for sure,
don't be playing with my stuff now.
Oh, for sure. I'm a bit of a control freak, so I'm always like, and I had to let that go. You got to accept the mistakes too.
Correct.
They're going to make mistakes, and they're not going to care about it like you do. But that's part of being the boss, and that's a part of growing. If you just want a little hustle, a couple rental properties, whatever like that, do it yourself. But if you really want to scale, which I didn't know I wanted to scale in the beginning. I'll be honest. I never expected to own a bunch of properties. I thought I was going to own a couple properties just to have something for retirement. Man, I wasn't even thinking this far ahead. So I'm not naturally an entrepreneur. I'm a better worker than I am an entrepreneur.
Interesting.
I was raised to be a worker. I was born to be a worker. That's what I know. Going to work, being given an assignment and executing it.
That's right.
And this entrepreneur life, this is something that had to kind of grow on me. And I'm in a new phase of it now where I'm letting go. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Just like I said, so now, like you said, you're in that phase of letting go, and then like really enjoying your labor, the fruits of your labor.
For sure,
right?
For sure.
So and I want to dive in, because that's like the fun part. But I want to tap into you a little bit more. So I got some questions, brother. Right? So,
what's up? What you want to know?
So here we go. I know we had some. We talked before we dive, but I want to dive into you so people can get an understanding of what a mindset would look like. right? Because
Mm-hmm.
again, we could talk about the specifics about industry, but we want to know the person behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one of our questions here. What's a personal rule you live by that most people disagree with?
Fitness first.
Love it. Oh man, brother, we on the
Fitness
same page.
first.
Yes, go ahead,
For
go ahead,
sure, for
go ahead and
sure.
dive in.
So I don't let anybody or anything keep me from getting my steps,
Mm-hmm.
or getting my workout in.
Mm.
Right. I need this hour every day
Mm-hmm.
to get this fitness in, and I don't let anybody bother it. I know so many guys, they're doing well. They're some are at my level, under my level, or way above my level, and they just aren't healthy. And then we talk, and I'm like, well, what's up, with the gym, and they're like, well, I'm hustling, I'm hustling this, and it's like, nah, you got to take some time out to get your steps, stretch, have a decent diet. Ain't got to be a perfect diet. Do some push-ups or do something with yourself. I don't, none of the money's worth it if you're not healthy. You know what I mean? Like, if I told my homie who was struggling with this, I said, bro, if I gave you $10 billion, but you had to, and I took your legs away, and you had to breathe on the oxygen tank, how much fun would that be? Would you take the 10 billion, or would you take a couple million and be fit and be able to run marathons or whatever the case may be? Like, the money's not worth it when you're not healthy. So that's first. I live by that. I don't let nobody get in the way of that, for sure.
And see, and just to elaborate on that more, but that's what makes you you in terms of and the level of success you have, because that is a high ingredient in cooking this dish that we call entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
being an innovator. Health is wealth, and
Yep.
movement is movement, right? And you
Yep.
think about it, it's like, okay, well, you've made this or you amassed this, but if you ain't here to enjoy it, or you're
Yeah.
limited with a disability because you choose not to prioritize it, man, yeah, you're doing
Mm-hmm.
yourself a huge disservice. Great point, brother.
Oh, for sure.
Here we go. Here's another one. What's the sacrifice you made that still weighs on you today?
Ooh, that still weighs on me today.
A sacrifice.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
a sacrifice I made that still weighs on me today. I wouldn't say it weighs on me. But I did put investing before having fun in my
Mm.
20s.
Mm.
I wouldn't say it weighs on me like I regret it. It's the opposite of that. I'm happy I did it. But that was a huge sacrifice. I watched a lot of people pop bottles. I watched a lot of people travel around, buy items, and now I'm 41 now,
Mm.
and now that we they're about my age, a lot of them aren't where they want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of just chipping away at the investment thing for a long time. So I would say it weighs heavy, like in a bad way, but in the time when it was happening, it weighed heavy. You see people just having the ball, and you're
Mm-hmm.
young, you want to have a ball too.
Correct.
And I don't get me wrong, I had some fun for sure. I got into some
Gotcha.
trouble,
So
but
so the good thing with that, I mean, well, the tip with that, what I got at that is,
yeah.
again, you said, I'm going to sacrifice fun now early, but
Hmm.
now you at a position where you kind of do what you want to do. I don't want to speak for you. Is that the case?
That's
So,
facts. Yeah,
but
for
then you
sure.
might have some peers, they still putting that clock and
Yeah,
struggling because you
for
choose not
sure.
to do X back then when the time was right. Now they probably coming to you now
Oh,
saying,
for sure.
"Hey, can you show me?" or
Oh, for
what?
sure.
Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah,
All the time, and
all
I
the
and
time.
I always give them game.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I've helped people get in deals. I've always given out game to my guys, no matter what. But
Mm-hmm.
that delayed gratification, I
Mm-hmm.
realize it's hard for people to do. It's hard for people to do. I know at one point in my life, I had a pretty good job, and I was offered a promotion, and had a couple rental properties on the side. And what I elected to do was turn down the promotion, actually quit the job, move in with my buddy, staying in one of his rooms in his house. I sold my house, I sold all my stuff, and then for 3 years I just worked on the business. But that's after I got to a certain amount of rentals. And so I basically cut the income in half instead of doubling the job income, just to kind of to double down, and that delayed gratification and kind of taking my lifestyle down too, to having your own, to living in somebody else's
Correct.
space.
Sacrifice.
It was a rough moment, but I'm so glad I did it. I think about that all the time, and I'm just like, man, that was a great move for me.
That
especially
puts you
at that
back
time.
in the state of, okay, a humbleness of this is where I came from. Okay.
Yep.
Few more questions. Here we go. Another one. If someone followed you around for a week during your toughest season, what would they be surprised to see? If someone followed you around for a week during your toughest season, what would they be surprised to see?
I think they would be surprised to see that nothing has changed. Right?
Okay.
There's a saying, if you can't stay motivated, stay consistent. Right? And motivation comes and goes. Sometimes you feel like working out, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel like waking up, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel like cleaning or investing it, sometimes you don't. And we are emotional people, you know. We have these highs, we have these lows, right? But I don't operate in highs and lows. I just do the same thing all the time. And I don't care if I feel like doing it, I just do it. So my life doesn't change. When I'm in a state of maybe I'm overwhelmed, maybe a slight state of depression, you wouldn't see a difference in me. Like I'm still just kind of, I may do it with a little bit of attitude, but I'm still just gonna get it done.
So let me ask you here. Basically, routine, and they say routine is boring, but the routine is actually where the reward is at.
Absolutely. Routine and reward are one and the same, two peas in a pod, for sure.
Okay,
so nothing. They probably be surprised to see I'm just being consistent.
Here we go. What does winning actually mean to you now, and how has that definition changed over time?
I think winning to me now is time. I've grown to realize that the only luxury is time.
That's it.
And like everything else is just kind of made up. And I used to desire, like, I think the same thing everybody else desires, like a house and stuff, a bunch of stuff. And now I desire being where I want to be when I want to be there. And that's what winning feels like to me. I guess winning is different. It's all sliding scale, and it can be different for everybody. But for me, it's just about, am I in control of my time, and can I be where I want to be when I want to be there? And that to me is, if you can say, you know what, I'm going to go spend a week in this part of the world because I just feel like that right now. This is how I'm feeling, and you can actually do that. That to me is winning on the highest level.
And speaking of that, brother, like you said, I follow your social media. One of the great luxuries of you being sacrificing early, you being your own boss, brother, you've been traveling, huh? Like,
I've been moving around.
Where you been? Where you been?
You know what? I've been to I want to say 30 countries.
30
so
countries.
Far.
I hear that, people?
Yeah.
30 countries.
Yeah.
He sacrificed early. Now he was able to travel the world, go to 30 countries. If I ask, which country was the best in terms of food, culture? And we wouldn't discriminate nobody while I'm saying that, but it's his personal opinion.
I like so many. That's a hard thing.
Okay.
So I'll give you my top places. I really, really enjoy Thailand a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoy Thailand a lot. South America is always really fun as well. And in Europe, I would say Spain and Portugal were surprisingly really, really nice. And I went there just to go. I just kind of went, and then I was like, I really like it here. It's pretty nice. And I like South Italy too. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So those are just a few, but I guess my favorites probably will be Thailand, just because just the overall vibe, cost of living, Like you can do so much for so little there.
Yeah, I
So
heard
I just really
people move
enjoyed
there.
that.
I've seen that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. I mean, because I'm in Chicago, so obviously I'm getting
Correct,
ripped
correct,
off, right?
correct.
In my high rise apartment with
uh,
my amenities and stuff
uh-huh.
like that. But you figure like you get this same thing in Thailand
Fraction.
for a fraction of the price. So it's pretty cool.
And the reason why I asked you that, you travel. I travel,
Uh-huh.
and it's changed my perspective. Does it change your perspective and your view on yourself and in business when you come back home?
Oh, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely.
Mm.
I feel blessed to be able to afford and have the ability to move around, and that kind of motivates me when I come back home to do more because I want to see more. And also, being a black man, black people are all over the world, right? And connecting with all the different black people is always cool, and it also gives me an appreciation for being an American black man because of no matter no matter where you come from here in this country, because it is that we have this capitalist design, and I'm not saying the design is perfect, it allows everybody who really, really wants it to have the ability to do better. And I've been to places on earth where there's men that look like me, and they probably never gonna do anything just because of the geographical location. So as racist as the history may be here in America, it actually is very much so a blessing to be black in this country, because we host the most millionaires, I think, black millionaires on earth, with a fraction of the black people of that of like maybe Africa or something like that, and there's wealth there too, of course. But when you look at like the per capita, like we have the most millionaires per capita here. So traveling around definitely gives me it inspires me and makes me appreciate being from here.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you another question too before we head on out. If you had to go back to your 20-year-old self, what information would you give yourself? What information would you give your 20-year-old self? All this good information you have now.
Ooh, 20-year-old self. Chill out with the women, man. You gotta focus. You just messing,
Stay focused, huh?
You can't have them all. And so I would tell my younger self to chill in that way. I think every man kind of has a
every man, it can be distracted, but you got to focus on the ultimate goal. But then you think about it as well. You're 20 years old. You're not
for sure.
I think that's the time when you're supposed to have fun, but it needs to be restricted fun, because you can get yourself jammed up and be on pause for a little bit, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was breaking my neck, man. I was looking to the left, to the right.
Oh wow!
and I would tell my younger self, yo, chill out. I think I did good with working and investing and stuff like that young. I started a lot earlier than my friends and stuff like that, but I did have moments, and I would say, and I think women are dope. I'm not here to talk down on women. I mean, having a woman in your life is amazing if you can find the right one and build with her. But the way I was playing the game, and it's a lot of just money, time, and energy for
time, exactly. And then you look up, because you got some people still doing that and did not focus on their priorities. So now they saying,
for sure,
I don't have anything, I don't own anything, I have not made no smart investments. So so now I gotta work 20 times as hard. Now you might have to sacrifice as you older, to get what you
for
need.
sure. And it's all driven by ego. It's all ego driven. So so I would say there's a book called The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. It talks about balance and stuff like that. And I would suggest any young man read that book. But that's probably what I would tell. That's probably I was a mess in that way, and that probably was my biggest challenge, I guess, was just I love women, and
This sometimes you get a little unfocused, huh? Gotcha.
Yeah, sometimes I just
just get a little unfocused. I got it, brother. I got it. And the fact that, like you said, you're doing your thing and you're successful. All right.
Yeah.
Tylann, brother, let me tell you something. I won't take too much of your time. I know you have to go. Listen, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate you being a part of Visionaries Beyond The Shift. You are a visionary. I mean, you literally broke barriers. You gave insight. You gave knowledge. You literally talked about yourself. and the mindset it takes to get to where you at. Brother, there's some valuable information.
No, for sure, for sure. Thank you, man. Anytime you need me, you can just phone call.
Just a phone call away,
so
brother.
Just let me know. Yeah, for sure, I'm a phone call away.
Family, thank you to continue to support and watch the Beyond the Shift podcast. In order for us to get them great guests that you like, hit that like and share button. We really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. So what we gonna do with this here, Tylann? Actually, this will we're going to package this up and we're gonna put this in a free ebook. So people that click on and say, yo, I want to read a little bit more, we're gonna give it to them for free. We're gonna give it to them. Versus they can hear the visual, but we're gonna shoot it out there to them for free.
Amazing. That's amazing. I love that.
I love that. So Tylann, is anything that you want the people to know about before we hop off?
Let's see. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. That's that's key. I got friends. I got some homies, man, they've been talking about buying rental property since 2009. And they ain't got, and everything is triple, so I would say that's one thing. I would say that you don't need to know everything before you make a move. There's a saying, know enough just to be dangerous. And yeah, you just want to know enough, man. I mean, I know so many people, they catch analysis paralysis. They've watched every episode of Earn Your Leisure. They've watched every episode of every podcast out there, and they haven't done anything. They've read all the books, and they're taking in all this knowledge, and I'm happy for that. But at the same time, you got to apply. Have to. And the application is the most important part. There's a person out there willing to take the chances that you aren't, that is half as smart as you, with half the resources, but they got the kahunas to actually step out. So don't catch analysis paralysis. Just get out there and do something. I guess another thing would be there's more than one way to skin a cat. I know in the real estate game, you got the wholesalers are telling you not to do rentals. The flippers are telling you not to do wholesale. The long-term buyers are telling you that the flippers and the wholesalers are idiots. The guy who buys the big buildings tells you not to buy the single-family home. And at the end of the day, depending on the market you're in and your strategy and your long-term goals, all of it works. That's it. Right. It's just like, working out at the gym. The big weightlifters beef with the boxers and the runners beef with the late weightlifters. But what's important is that you work out and you go to the gym and get some kind of workout done. You pick your workout, you pick what works for you and what benefits you. But don't let anybody discourage you because they're in another field of workout. It's the same thing with real estate. It all works. You just have to run the numbers and see what you want to do. So I see a lot of stuff online. Don't do the BRRRR. The BRRRR method doesn't work. Flipping doesn't work. Apartment complexes. It's like it all works, man. It all works. So don't let these clickbaity things. Sit down, have a goal, run your numbers, and see if the numbers work for your situation.
Love it. If I had to add two things on top of that, I call it the 2 C's. And what I mean by the 2 C's, you do everything you possibly can. Just listen to what I'm saying, viewers. Everything you possibly can to increase your courage and your confidence. Don't worry about how I'm gonna do that. When that's strong enough, you'll figure out a way. Like you just said a minute ago, I just need to know just a little bit and I'm gone. Yep. Why? Because my courage and my confidence is at the highest diabolical level. So,
yep.
All right, yo, Tylann, brother, listen, we about to chop it up and go ahead and go. And thank you again for being on Visionaries Beyond the Shift. We'll see y'all next time.